You are also not alone. You're not alone with that. I didn't want to sing it twice, and then I started singing it, and it got
Please just sing it every single time I speak. It's like a game show where you push the button and you know it's going to come out of it.
Questions that I need for you to answer.
Yeah, hit me.
Okay, so no, it's not there.
I have questions I need you to answer. Okay, so your editor, every clip that your editor cuts is just going to be us. Like there's going to be a quip and laughter.
Yeah.
Laughter. I love this. It doesn't always have to be some tremendous, self-realization. It could just be an hour of laughter over like the stupidity of what it means to be alive. Social media is not going anywhere, unfortunately. And in plenty of industries, people reference social media to kind of gauge somebody's value. But I do wish that more people in the social media space were talking as we are about how everything is not always as glamorous as it appears. You can have 100,000 followers, but making no money. You could have a successful podcast, but be dreading the pressures that come with having to make content.
Sun is coming up, are you ready to go? We can take a ride, we can take it slow. Yo.
I just want to know more about you.
Is there something in particular that's gnawing at you that you'd like to know more about?
Something that I'm growing through right now is that I'm in this in-between in my life where I love this podcast, but literally all the other pieces of being a self-love coach or a life coach, made me sick, physically ill. I find a lot of solace in this podcast and also the internet because it makes me feel like I have my shit together. When I say, oh, I have over 100,000 followers on TikTok, I must be doing something right. But no one, but I'm not making any money from it. And I'm basically over here, how am I even going to pay my rent next month? This is the cycle I'm in. And I'm so fucking over it, but also obsessed with it at the same time.
No, you touched upon so much there that I can comment on and that I find deeply relatable. Let's talk about that social media piece first, which every time I talk about social media on my podcast or on another person's podcast, I'm always because it's such a niche thing to be somebody who has any sort of following online and is lucky enough to monetize it. But at the same time, Western culture worships social media stars and worships people who have any kind of following, just blindly assumes that they have some sort of power or prowess that the consumer doesn't have. My relationship with social media has been very complicated because I'm fundamentally a very analog person. I am not like you in the sense that I get any sort of comfort off of social media. It totally feels like a chore. The only thing that has made it not feel like a chore is that I created this podcast format where I ask my listeners and their friends and their friends of friends and whoever manages to find me to share secrets with me. And we have developed this kind of mutual parasocial relationship where it's not just them trusting me enough to tell me things that often they've never told another person, but these people have given me a tremendous sense of self-respect. We were talking about regrets earlier and wondering if we made the right decision. The thing that I'm inarguably deeply regretful about is that so much time that I could have spent making real work, or what I consider to be real work, because tons of people see their social media content as real work, and I totally respect that. It's also very labor intensive, but just in terms of the way that I feel like I'm best equipped to express myself, which is speaking, writing, performing, I wasted so much time that I could have spent cultivating those crafts, honing in on those talents, really becoming exceptional at my art forms, and instead worrying about what was going to perform well online. Social media is not going anywhere, unfortunately. And in plenty of industries, people reference social media to kind of gauge somebody's value. But I do wish that more people in the social media space were talking as we are about how everything is not always as glamorous as it appears. You can have 100,000 followers, but making no money. You could have a successful podcast, but be dreading the pressures that come with having to make content. I know that I need to participate in this system to survive, and including to transfer out of it eventually, but it causes me more stress than the amount of joy that it brings me by far.